Focus on day zero and what's happening in Nelson Mandela Bay. We know that Gqeberha and surrounding areas have been in a crippling drought for a number of years, but we also know that water has not been properly managed in and around the city, and there's been a massive problem of leaks. Well, the National Water and Sanitation Minister Senzo Mchunu has been in the city again today, just assessing progress, because the National Department has actually been helping the local municipality to try and get through this crisis. The Minister joins me now. Minister, thank you so much for your time. So I want to ask you now, you did say that day zero is receding, but currently, how many days until day zero in Gqeberha?
Look, we are not counting that way. We are counting in terms of, because we don't want day zero to arrive. So we can't answer by saying we're now 15 days, we're now 10 days before, because we are working against that. But of course, scientifically, in terms of projections, there are, in terms of the Mpofu system, Mpofu Dam being the one source of water for Gqeberha, supplying Churchill, then Gqeberha, we are at zero in terms of that dam and that system. But Gqeberha, which supplies water to Luri and then down to Gqeberha, we just have a few more days. I think it's 112. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's 112 days. But we don't want to count like that. Simply because a real live story of water and usage doesn't work in accordance with this. You could say we have water for 112 days in this dam, but because of usage of water by people, including any other problem thereof, you can be talking about 1 week and water is gone. And therefore, let me having contextualized the way I've done, say the following. One, on the 16th of June, we're here in Gqeberha, where I am at the moment, for the 2 days. We observed and we engaged and we did everything that we needed to do according to the letter in the situation. We recorded that, and as we record now, that there are a number of things that need to be done, mainly in 5 areas, which are our pillars.
Yeah.
And at that time, we were far more from satisfied with the work that had been done in each of the areas. But today, when we assessed in a meeting from last night up to and including this morning, we're kind of seeing or observing that there's progress.
I'm going to jump in. I know you've got
want more progress.
Yes, of course, yes. One of the things that you're especially pleased about is the leaks issue. And there were something like 3,700 leaks, and I think you've plugged well over 2,000 of them. I want to ask, why did it take national water intervention to see action on the leaks problem?
Yes, we've done 2,774. That is what we recorded today, out of that number that you called 3.7. Why did it take a minister national? Well, I just want to say it's a question of responsibility. When we saw that we're nearing day zero in Nelson Mandela Bay, we were one-minded. Go there, engage all the parties, including the municipality, private business, labor, local municipalities that are around, like Gqeberha, Sarah Bartman, do what is right. And we determined at that time that having 3,700 water leaks or points of leaks in this system is not right.
Yeah.
What is right is to close all the leaks. And we zoomed on that, and we're pleased that we now have closed 2,774.
I mean, that is great progress, and it's so critical, as you pointed out this morning, in a city that has to watch every single drop. The one thing you're really battling with, though, despite a national intervention, is getting consumers who still have full access. And I say that because we spoke to a community activist from Uitenhage who was saying that they're really battling, and they have been battling what he calls water apartheid for a long time. But the reality is we're looking at a situation with people in the city proper who, it seems, are not listening to the message. And the reason I want to talk about this is because often we see the politicians and the councillors saying one thing and the community ignoring or not trusting. And that speaks to a massive trust deficit. It's something that Cape Town somehow got right. From the media briefing, it seems you wanted more punitive consequences for people who don't toe the line. Are you confident that the interventions that the city wants to go with are actually going to work? Because it's critical, as you say.
The municipality has taken the decision that we proposed and discussed with them, and we're happy with that decision of tariffs category D, which means that if you use water above your limit, you must regard yourself as not complying, and therefore there's a consequence for that. And that decision has been taken by the municipality, and we're happy with that, and it's progress. And therefore, this needs to be implemented. It's implemented in two ways. One was we are implementing restrictions at source, in other words, at abstraction point, where we can still abstract.
So that means, is that water throttling? Sorry to jump in, just to understand. Is that basically water throttling? So there'll be lower pressure water coming from the taps?
Yes. Both of them.
Got it.
We must lower abstraction from down to 230. At the moment, we're not at 230, and we're not happy with it. That's why we are not happy with some of the aspects, this being our key pillar. And we want this abstraction to be brought down to 230. Now, at supply side, there are people who are insisting that they need more than the compliant limit. And that's where tariff D comes in. Because if you use water more than you are limited to, there will be consequence, and in terms of tariffs D,
I see.
It would
so
come
it's a sliding scale upwards. So the more you use, the more expensive a litre of water gets. One quick question.
Yes, but that's not what we want. We want everybody to comply.
Of course you do, because you don't want a lot of water to be used, because water is actually more precious than money at this point. I spoke to one of your DGs. I spoke to one of your DGs recently, Sean Phillips. And he was very clear that national government needs to be more involved. It seems to me that there is, at some point, municipalities just can't cope with some of the water challenges. When it comes to areas that really are battling to manage their water supplies, in the future, is the national department going to get more and more involved in managing what local municipalities are failing to do, essentially?
In order to get to this interview, I needed to walk out of another meeting on Mopani, that is Nandon and Sami Dam, scheme, where we intend to supply water to Giyani finally. And I'm happy that we are now 6 kilometers away from Giyani. And I'm in that meeting. And then we were in Velcom, which is Machabeng. The other day, we spent the whole day dealing with issues of infrastructure there. Before that, we were in Mangaung. Before that, we were in Maluta Pofu. We are in Mkhanyaguta. We are in all districts. We've been in OR. We've been in Alfrenzo, we've been in Uku municipality, we've been up in Musina. So it's a question for us. It's no longer politicking. It's no longer rhetorical. It's a question of saying there is this basic service to the people of South Africa. It comes it comes as a basic right, as a right. It comes with the mantra, water is life. And we are religious about this, and we're focused, and we're doing that wherever there is a problem. And I forget to say, we were in Loskop on Tuesday, dealing with water in Mutse and in Tembisiliane municipality. And wherever we go, we make sure we are delivering on time, delivering on the budget allocated. And that's what we are committed to the people of South Africa.
And clearly whipping municipalities along with you to assist in sorting out the problems. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for interrupting your meeting. We'll let you get back to work, sorting out some of the water problems that we are facing. Certainly it sounds like a very hands-on Water and Sanitation Minister Senzo Mchunu coming to us live this evening from Gqeberha. Now, still